on your mats. Remove your glutes from your sitting bones. Sit tall and comfortably. Today's class, let me just actually make sure that this is focused on myself and not you. There we go. So sit tall and comfortably. And begin to tap into your breathing. Rooting your sitting bones into the ground. Can you draw your belly button to your spine, creating a slight tuck in your tailbone, and draw that energy up your spine? Inhale your shoulders up towards your ears, give them a squeeze, and exhale, bring them back behind you and relax them. Let your palms flip open onto your knees. When your palms are open, facing upwards or the rest of the world, it is body language that tells the universe and others that you're open. Open to communicate, to receive. Remember your form in your seating position. If you're in your seated position, remember your form, your shoulders are behind you together. Your abdomen is engaged, creating length and strength. And we breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. Toning slightly at the back of the throat in such a way that our breath becomes audible like a sigh. Your ujjayi breaths. Today's class is about how we hold ourselves. How you hold yourself physically, how we carry our bodies, actually informs a lot of our emotions and our responses. So your body language can say a lot about how you're feeling, but it can also inform how you're feeling. So if we take up more space, we can access more of our inner confidence. And when we sit collapsed, we collapse our emotional and our energetic being as well. So today, can you expand? When you want to let go, can you find the strength to hold? And know that the way that you do one thing is truly the way you do everything. Can you move through this practice without anxiety, without trying to get to the right position, without trying to make it further or deeper, or look more like me, someone who's been practicing for a very long time? Can you let go of all of those needs? And can you allow yourself the courage to try and to stick with it? Can you maintain your engagement with the present moment so that you don't lose your form, so you don't collapse? Can you instead support yourself? And when things get tough, can you breathe? Can you soften? Inhale your hands to heart center. Bow into your heart. Take a moment to thank yourself for coming here today. And come up over onto your knees. What we're actually going to do is turn to face the long edge of your mat. So you're on your knees and you're facing the long edge of your mat. You can curl your toes under. Extend your left leg out to your side, and as you do, bring your right hand down to the mat. Your fingers are pointing to the short edge of your mat or the front of your mat. Your toes are pointing the long edge of your mat, and your body is facing the long edge of your mat. Inhale your left arm up and overhead. And exhale, stretch. Feel the stretch along the side of your body from your left leg through your arm. Expand. With every breath, can you expand your torso more? And can you exhale a little further into this stretch? Inhale, come up, arms parallel to the floor, to the front and back of the room, and exhale, drop your left arm, lift your right arm up and overhead. Breathe here for a moment. Using our breath, we're going to flow through this, so inhale, arms parallel, and exhale, drop your right hand, lift your left arm up and overhead. Inhale, arms parallel, come up, and exhale, drop your left arm, lift your right arm up and overhead. Inhale, parallel, exhale, drop your right arm. Continue flowing like this, beginning to open up the sides of the body, following with your own breath. The next time you drop your right hand, drop your left hand as well. Turn into a tabletop position with your toes still curled under. Send your hips back, your hands forward. Tend to your fingers and melt your heart. This is your puppy dog pose. Can you lift the underlining of your arms, bringing your shoulders together onto your back and allowing your heart to melt? Inhale to tabletop. And once you've exhaled, inhale, look up, lift your tailbone up, drop your belly, and exhale. Curve the opposite way and pressing up into your spine, sending it to the ceiling. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze, lift your sitting bones, and exhale, curve in. Inhale, drop your belly, continue pulsing through cat-cow, exhale. Warming up the spine here. The next time you come through neutral, rotate to the other side of your mat. Toes are curled under, you're facing the long edge of your mat. And this time extend your right leg out beside you. Toes are pointed to the long edge of the mat. And drop your left hand to the mat. Fingers are pointing the short edge. Inhale your right arm up and overhead. And breathe here for a moment. Feel the foundation in your left hand rooting down through the four corners of your palm. Feel the length from your leg through your torso, through your arm, and really reach. Use your breath to support you on your journey. Inhale, come up and Extend your arms to the front and back of your mat, parallel to the floor. Exhale, drop your right hand, lift your left arm up and overhead. Inhale, arms parallel, and exhale, drop your left arm, lift your right arm up and overhead. Inhale, parallel, and exhale, drop your right arm. Continue flowing like this, following your breath. This is your gate latch pose. And just like the latch to a gate, we have the opportunity to unlock our path. One more breath here. The next time you drop your left hand, also drop your right hand. Come to a tabletop position and send your sitting bones back to your heels. Toes are still curled under. Tense your fingers, melt your heart, puppy dog pose. This neutralizes the spine. In case you couldn't tell by the theme of this class, the class is going to be about posture. So we're going to work a lot on our back. Can you not give up on yourself? Engage your back muscles right now, squeezing your shoulder blades together, lifting the underlining of your arms and allowing your heart to melt just that much more. Come up through tabletop and press up and back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, press into your hands. Feel how that allows you to lengthen your back. Inhale your right leg up and back behind you. And exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Drop your left knee. You can grab some cushions if you need. I like some extra cushion for my knees. So you can roll up the side of your mat if you don't have any cushions. And just extend your front leg forward a little bit more. Your back toes are still curled under. Inhale, reach your arms up. Palms face towards each other. Pinkies twist in and back towards the back of the room. Opening your chest up and bringing your shoulders onto your back. Inhale, lunge forward, and exhale. Begin to send yourself into a soft back bend. Rely on the strength in your core, in your legs, in your shoulders. And feel the beautiful opening. And the next time you inhale, come up. Plant your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back behind you, and exhale, step your left foot between your hands, drop your right knee. Extend your stance just a little bit. Inhale, lunge into your front knee as you extend your arms up and overhead, palms towards each other, and spin your pinkies back. Breathe here. On every exhale, can you see if you can send yourself just a little bit more into a back bend? Opening up through the front of the chest and supporting with your back so you can open up your heart. You have got your own back. You've always got your own back. Remember that. Inhale, come up. Exhale, plant your hands and step back into a downward facing dog. walk your feet to meet your hands. You can also step or hop up to the front of your mat and forward fold. Inhale, hands to your shins, halfway lift, bring your neck back, and exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep your arms up and overhead, gather all that air above you, and exhale. Draw your hands through heart center and alongside your hips. One more breath like this. Bend into your knees and really scoop the air above your head. Inhale. Exhale, draw your hands through heart center and forward fold. Let your head hang. Inhale, halfway lift. Bring your neck back to flatten your back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise. Bring your arms up and overhead, and this time sit down into your hips, bending at the knees. Leave your arms up and overhead, palms facing towards each other. Shoulders onto your back. This is your chair pose. Your feet should be in number 11s, parallel to one another and directly under your hips, so adjust if you need to. Your knees are pointing straight, which means they're not coming in and they're not flailing out. Make sure your knees, just like your feet, are pointed straight. See if you can lower just a little bit more. Tuck your belly, lower your tailbone so we're not flipping our tails back here. We're tucking and lower. It's a tough one. You might not be able to go very low, but can you hold this? Your legs might be having a little bit of a conversation. Smile, invite it. Inhale, press into your legs, lift up, gather that beautiful energy above your head and draw it down through your heart center. Hold it here. Contemplate on your strength. When you put your focus into something, you become so capable. Take a moment to absorb that. Turn to face the long edge of your mat. Widen your stance wider than hip width apart. And point your toes to the corners of the room. So they're not exactly pointing to the long edge of your mat or the short edge of your mat. They're pointing to the corners. Feel into the four corners of your feet. Maybe lift your toes so you're engaging your arches. You can gently lower your toes or you can keep them lifted just to practice that. Tuck your tailbone so we're not curving into our backs or dumping into our bellies. And engage your spine. Inhale, lift your shoulders up and back. Open your palms. And begin to sit into your hips, making sure your tailbone is coming a little bit underneath you, pointing towards the earth. Lift your arms into goalposts, palms towards each other, and spin your pinkies back. See if you can tilt your hands behind your elbows a little bit. And lower into your goddess pose. Hold yourself here. Feel your strength. We're going to bring 5 pulsations into this pose, so do some micro movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come up to stand slowly. Arms together above your head. Hands down through heart center and forward fold. Begin to bring your toes inwards of your heels. Just slightly as you fold. Bend into your knees, which allows you to melt your heart more. And magnetize the backs of your thighs to the wall behind you, which creates more of a stretch along your hamstrings and allows you to melt just that much more. Let your head hang. Walk your hands over to your left foot. See if you can grab your ankle or your shin and just pull yourself in towards your shin with the strength of your arms, gently helping yourself melt that much more. Walk your hands to the center. Come up onto the tips of your fingers. Bring your neck back so you're in a halfway tabletop position. And melt forward. Walk your hands towards your right ankle. And with the gentle strength in your hands, help yourself melt a little bit more towards your right leg. Inhale to center, halfway lift, bring your neck back, and exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, scoot your feet in towards each other. So they're underneath your hips and forward fold. Bend into your knees, scoop your hands up and overhead, root to rise. Inhale and exhale, draw that beautiful energy down through your heart and alongside your hips. Face the short edge of your mat. Come to the top of your mat, and with your right foot, just take a step back. Make sure your feet are in line with one another. So they shouldn't be staggered for this one. They're in line with one another. And bring your back foot to a 45-degree angle. So instead of pointing forward or to the side, we've got a little bit of a diagonal. You can bring your left foot forward a little bit more if you don't have a very wide stance. So we step back with our foot into position and inhale, lift your hands up and overhead. Square your hips with the front of the room, shoulders onto your back, warrior one. Inhale and straighten your front leg, strengthen it with that micro bend and begin to forward fold over your front leg. Plug in through the big toe ball mound of your front foot, maybe lift your toes for a second. Your shoulders stay on your back, so if you need blocks here to support you, please reach for them. Fold. Only letting your head go as far as your heart goes. So if my heart goes to this level, I'm not going to drip my head down. My neck is a beautiful extension of my spine, and if I'm holding my spine, can I remember to hold my neck and my head into its beautiful place? Bend into your front knee, press into your front leg, bring your back foot up to meet your front foot, bend into your knees and scoop the air above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders onto your back, neck comes back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, scoop your hands overhead, down through heart center and alongside your hips, and step your left foot back, in line with your front foot and at a 45-degree angle. Square your hips with the front of the room. Bend into your right knee And inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Warrior One variation. Strengthen your back thigh. Breathe here for a moment. Shoulders are onto your back. Tailbone tucked, belly engaged. Straighten your front leg. And begin to melt over your front leg, plugging in through your front toe ball mound. Reach for some blocks if you need them, so that your shoulders can stay onto your back and you can lead with your heart. Make sure your head isn't hanging forward, but your neck is supporting you. Your spine should be in one line as you melt. Inhale, bend into your front knee, press into your front leg, bring your back leg up to meet your front foot. Inhale, reaching up overhead, hands through heart center and alongside your hips. Come to a seated position on your mat. Bring your left foot into your right glute and bring your right foot over the outside of your left thigh. Give yourself a little squeeze here. Use that squeezing your arms to help you find your posture in your shoulders, your back. And then see if you can reach your left hand for your right hand. So your left hand comes up and over your shoulder and your right hand goes behind your back and up. You might need a strap or you might not reach your hands, but see if you can. Actively engage and reach for your hands. Breathe here for a moment. See if you can open up a little bit more in your front. Use your breath. Activate your smile. And let go. Bring your legs out in front of you. Bring both knees in. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then bring your right foot to your left glute. Your left foot over the outside of your right thigh. Give yourself a little squeeze here. And bring your right arm up and overhead. Left arm goes behind you and up. Begin reaching towards your hands. You can grab a strap if you need one. You don't need to reach your hands. If you can't, that's okay. If you can, make sure you're not hurting yourself. Find your form and find your breath. Release your hands. Release your legs. Give them a big squeeze. Giving yourself a little hug. And roll over onto your back. Bring your knees into your belly. Grab your shins and just walk from side to side. Give your low back a little bit of a massage. Massaging your kidneys. This is good for detoxing. Bring your feet as wide as your mat. Wider than your mat, and let your feet fall to the sides of the room. Bring your shoulders a little bit more behind you, allowing your palms to flip open. And just draw your neck towards the mat more, creating a slight tuck in your chin. in this moment. How you hold yourself is in how you let go. There are so many things in life that we have control over, but we don't have control over everything. And in those moments where we don't have control, can we simply let go and realize that sometimes holding yourself in a position where you're letting go can be really hard. Allow yourself to just let go. And instead of holding, being held, begin to invite movement back into your fingers and your toes, into your hands and your feet, your wrists and your ankles. Bring your hands up and overhead and your feet together and give yourself a stretch. Roll over onto your right side and use your bicep as a pillow. Rest here for a moment. And come up to sit. Find your comfortable seated position and bring your hands to heart center. Our past does not define us. What defines us is how we move through life, how we hold ourselves, how we carry ourselves. When things get tough, can you take a breath and make a choice about how you want to carry yourself. Do you want to carry yourself with anxiety, with tension, with anger or hostility? Or do you want to carry yourself with joy, with ease, with gratitude? Take a moment to thank yourself for coming today, for engaging in yourself. I thank you all for coming. The light and shadow in me bows to and acknowledges the light and shadow in each of you. Namaste. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you all really consider how you're carrying yourselves today.